As protests continue throughout the country, calling out systemic racism, companies and brands have been reevaluating how diverse and inclusive their teams really are. And while social media is a great place to start, style expert Melissa Chataigne wrote about racism in the fashion world and says there's more work to be done. Pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
You know,
It's a
you
really
wrote
important topic.
You wrote a great piece for the LA Times, explained a little bit about who you are and the experiences that you felt you needed to share. Could you tell us?
Of course. Well, I'm a fashion stylist, TV host. I've worked in the industry for over 15 years. And I just wanted to share some of those microaggressions that I experienced in the fashion industry, where I feel like, yes, I've had some opportunities. Yes, I've done some great things of like sitting front row at Fashion Week and being included in these big influencer campaigns. But I still felt that there's a limit, like a glass ceiling for inclusivity. And I just needed to share my experiences and call it out and offer solutions to be more inclusive.
You have been invited into boardrooms, into companies who say, "Oh, yeah, we want to partner with you. We want to talk to you." Would you tell us that one story about your first meeting and then your second meeting?
So I was brought on to work with a fashion company to provide them to help them with their content. They wanted to be more inclusive with size. They wanted some more color representation as writers, and I offered my services as a consultant. The conversation went well, seeing that yes, we love you. It ended up being a 4-hour meeting dissecting my ideas and offering so much help to this company. And then as summer comes, I like to change my hair. Fortunately, women of color are able to change their hair in a variety of ways. And I did more of an Afrocentric look with faux dreadlocks, and therefore I was no longer welcome to the table. Everything, all the promises ended. No partnership, no campaign, no consultation, no writing for them, done.
We have had conversations about what is beauty and why only a certain type of person ends up being able to identify it and being able to put those faces out in the world. But you say it's just as important to have the jobs behind the scenes, and that's what's not there.
Exactly. It's very frustrating to be seen as when brands want to partner with me because of my style or because of my beauty and put me on their Instagram pages. But these are the same companies that do not have Black executives as decision makers. And you've seen companies stumble up time and time again. Like Gucci has done, so many brands have put out things that are not appropriate culturally. And then they have to backpedal with these diversity inclusion panels. But the truth is, if there are Black decision makers in the room, if there are more Black hairstylists, Black makeup artists, Black executives in the marketing teams, Black designers, these things wouldn't even have been a problem. And that's where true inclusivity needs to live.
Anna Winter got into some hot water. She wrote a letter to her staff basically admitting to and saying she was taking responsibility for a culture of structural exclusivity. And her former editor-at-large, Andre Talley, said not enough. We even heard from Beverly Johnson, the first African-American woman to be placed on the cover of Vogue back in 1974. She was reprimanded for asking for Black photographers and Black makeup artists and Black hairdressers.
This is what we're talking about. There is that fake, like, air kiss. Like, we're in the room, maybe we're sitting close to the head of the table, but we're not included in these big decisions. How can a woman of color not have a Black hairstylist to do her hair? The first photographer that shot for a cover of Vogue was for Beyonce 123 years in their history. So there are these errors that have been done. And I appreciate Anna for saying, yes, I've been wrong, but I would like to see what is she going to do to change this culture? Vogue has been seen as the peak pinnacle of fashion, leading the industry in all of its endeavors. Yes, we've had Andre Leonteli a part of it, but this is where we're talking about. Let's see if she's ready to push the envelope to have true inclusion so things can change in the industry.
You wrote about a couple of things, the point shoes. There's now dance clothing that reflects Black skin and brown skin. Harper's Bazaar has a new head.
First time in their 123-year history of having a Black editor-in-chief. I danced ballet since I was 2 years old, and I was so frustrated for years and years of always having to wear nude that never matched with my color and pink point shoes where I could have had brown. And it's so great to see Capizio take that initiative, and I hope other brands follow suit. There's so much to be done, but this doesn't stop now by posting the little black boxes and saying you support Black Lives Matter. We really want to see where brands are going to be in 6 months from now, and if they've really made these steps towards inclusion, because I believe consumers are smarter and they're only going to be fiscally responsible and put their money where they feel there's true support and true allies for all Black Lives Matter.
And also supporting Black designers, you know, and people on the runway.
Yes, it's not enough to have one or two people as your. I mean, Naomi Campbell has been pushing the envelope in the forefront, but how many stylists really pull from Black designers? How many models are represented? How many models and brands are pushing representation? And that's where I feel like there's a problem. But now I feel like everything's kind of been blown to smithereens. People are upset and they want to see change. So hopefully we will not lean towards the cancel culture and exiling people like Anna for their past mistakes, but embracing them and asking them to make change and teach us the way.
Melissa Chataigne, I could listen to you all day. Thank you so much for the great piece for the Times and for joining us today.
Thank you so much.